Complete Java course. This video lecture is the continuation of my previous video lecture of exception handling. So let's start. So today we are going to talk about the multi-catch blocks with try block. Means we have a one try block and multiple catch blocks. Java lets the user to write multiple catch block. Multiple catch block is nothing but having more than one catch block per try block. Compiler decides to which catch block should be executed if the exception mentioned in catch block and the actual exception raised are matched. We can write n number of catch blocks, but make sure that you are writing the exceptions from narrow to broad. Means first catch block you should write the child exception, then parent. What I mean is we should write the specific exception. Suppose in your code there is an arithmetic exception may be raised. So in the catch block, in the multi-catch block, first you will handle the arithmetic exception, then you will handle the exception. So first you will handle the most specific, then you can go for the that exceptions parent class. So if that any other exception comes, it also will be handled. So, so, so the specific exception in the first catch and little less except specific or parent of specific exception in second catch block. So on below the pyramid or narrow the broad example of no such element exception. Okay, so how to write a multi-catch block and how the exception is handled in the multi-catch block. So suppose here we create a test class. Within the test class we define a number 10. And in the try block we are trying to divide that number by 5. And we are writing multiple catch block. Arithmetic exception, because there is a chance if the number I divided by the 0, arithmetic exception can be occur. Now its above exception is a runtime exception. The parent class of the arithmetic exception is the runtime exception. So in the next catch block we handle the runtime exception. In the next catch block the superclass of the runtime exception is the exception. So we handle the exception class. In the next catch block we handle the parent class of the exception, which is throwable class. So in this way we write the multiple catch block. First we handle the child class exception, then we handle the parent class exception and so on. And we write the finally block. So in this code there will be no exception, so it will run fine and print the 2 as an output and the finally block will be executed. So let's I show you what happen if the exception occurs in this code. So let's I show you on the Eclipse IDE. So this is the class. Okay, so first I will show you if you run this program you will not get any error. So here you get the output for this program. But what happened if you divide this I with the 0? If you divide this I with the 0, so arithmetic exception will be occur. So in the multiple catch block, first we are handling the arithmetic exception. So this catch block will be executed. Okay, so for checking this block, you also can write a SISO statement. Arithmetic exception catch block. Catch block. Now you save it and you can run it. Okay, so you can check enter in type block, arithmetic exception will occur, and so catch block. Okay, so actually you will have to write before the print stack trace. Okay. Yes, it is printing the arithmetic exception catch block, and then finally block will be executed and it is throwing the arithmetic exception. But what happened if I handle the parent class? Exception is a parent class for the runtime, and runtime is a parent class for the arithmetic exception. What happened if I try to handle this catch block before this block? You will get a compile time error. What compile time error? The exception already has caught. If you go here, unreachable catch block for arithmetic, unreachable catch block for arithmetic exception, it is already handled by the catch block for exception. Why this is showing this error message? Because you have exception is the parent class for the arithmetic exception, so it is handled in this catch block. So this arithmetic exception block never be executed. That is why it is showing this error message. So if you are handling the exception by the help of multiple catch block, then you should first write the subclass exception, then parent class, then its parent class, then its parent class. Basic rules for catch block. Number 1, only one catch block will be executed per exception and only one exception can be raised at a time. Number 2, we should order the catch block from narrow type exception to broad type exception, or we can say child type exception to the parent class exception. Number 3, we cannot have more than one catch block with a particular exception. If we try to do so, the second catch block will give the error saying unresolved compilation problem. So in the previous example, if we are writing a catch block with the arithmetic exception, so only one catch block with the arithmetic exception you can define. More than one catch block cannot be defined with the arithmetic exception. Like here, if you define the catch block with handling the arithmetic exception 2 times, so it will give the compilation problem or compilation error. Unreachable catch block for arithmetic exception, it is already handled by the catch block for arithmetic exception. Number 4th rule is In the multiple catch block, upper catch block should handle child exception and lower catch block should have parent exception. If you handle parent class exception in the upper catch, you will get compile time exception, unreachable catch block. For arithmetic exception, it is already handled by the catch block for exception. So here I am showing the example. In this class, I have defined a variable 10, and in the try block, we are printing the division of I divided by 2, and here we are defining a 2 catch block. In the first catch block, we are handling the exception class exception, and in the second catch, we are handling the arithmetic exception. Since arithmetic exception is a child class of the exception class, so arithmetic exception should be handled first, then exception handled in the second catch block. But we are changing the order, that's why we get the compile time error. Now we will talk about the nested try, catch or finally blocks. When a try catch block is present inside another try catch block, then it is called as nested try catch. We can write a try catch finally inside a try block of code. When a try catch block is present inside another try catch block, then it is called as nested try catch. We can write a try catch finally inside a try block of the code. So let's see an example. Here we define a variable a equal to 10 and we write a try block. In this try block is from here to here. But in this try block we also define a try, catch and finally block. So this is called the inner try block, inner catch block or inner finally block. And this is the outer catch block and outer final block. So what happen if the inner try block raised an exception? So first this statement will be executed inside outer try block, then the control will come in the inner try block. So inside inner try block will be executed. Now at this line the exception will occur, so inner catch block will handle this exception and print the inside inner catch block, and after that catch block the finally block will be executed. So inside inner finally block will be executed, but outer catch block will never executed because the exception never occur in the outer try block. If the exception occur in the outer try block, then outer catch block will be executed and the finally block will be executed of the outer class. So we can say that if the exception occur in the inner try block, then inner try block, inner catch block and inner finally block and outer finally block will be executed. But outer catch block will not be executed. So if you run this program, you will get the output. Inside outer try block, inside inner try block, inside inner catch block, inside inner finally block and inside outer finally block, and then it give the arithmetic exception. So let's I show you this example on the Eclipse IDE. Now you can see the code. I have just copy and paste from the slide. So here we have the variable I and outer try block, inner catch block, inner finally block, outer catch block and outer finally block. So all this try, catch and finally block is inner try, catch and inner finally block. And if the exception occur in the inner try block, so inner catch block handle the exception and inner finally block will be executed, and outer finally block will be executed, but outer catch block will not be executed. If I run this program, you will get the output inside outer try block, inside inner try block, inside inner catch block, inside inner finally block, inside inner finally block, and sorry, this should be outer. Okay, so now I would like to show you if what happened if this exception occur into the outer block. Okay, so if the exception occur here, so now which block will be executed and which block will not be executed. In this case, if the exception occur in the outer block, the outer try block will be executed, and the exception occur, that exception will handled by the catch block, outer catch block. So control will handle the outer catch block, and then finally block will be executed. So in this case, inner finally block will not be executed, inner catch block will not be executed, only outer catch block and outer finally block will be executed. So if I execute it, you will get the output outer try block, outer catch block, and outer finally block, and then the arithmetic exception.